I wanted to share with you the Gayatri Mantra, which is the oldest mantra, very, very old and has been chanted for thousands of years, and very powerful too. And it's an invocation to the divine within us, so to that light that is within us and around us, pervading everything, and that sometimes it gets blocked by our worries and concerns. And I want us to chant together the Gayatri Mantra and reflect on its meaning. Mantras and mudras are like gifts to God, so it's like gifts to the divine within us. So we just kind of orient ourselves to that dimension that's bigger than our solo self, that's struggling and feels limited and so many problems. And so how can we orient ourselves to the light? And I also want to teach you a series of mudras that are practiced after the Gayatri Mantra. So there are many, many ways that we can practice coming back into light. The mantras and the mudras are ways also of capturing our attention and intention to the present moment, so that we don't have this anxiety or numbness, immobilization that comes from the continuous worrying and stress. I'm thinking that next Saturday I will address fatigue, which many of us are feeling also because of all this stress. But today let's do the Gayatri Mantra and these mudras. So we know the prayer that comes before the Gayatri Mantra, so let's do that together, those of you that have learned it with me. Then we'll go to the Gayatri Mantra itself and then to the other mudras. So you can just listen to it, or you can do it with me if you have practiced this before. Let me put myself in a pin. Okay. So let me see here. All right. So first, these mudras. Mudras are gestures that are like a pre-verbal communication to ourselves, our individual selves, as our intention and attention, and also to our connection with our universal self within us. So to God within us, to the divine presence, to light, to dimension that goes beyond our concerns with our immediate problems. And eventually calms us down, and we have new insights on how to work with the problems, which are always still there. We are not denying that. But let's see how we can work with ourselves to calm our body and mind and to open ourselves to insight. So this first prayer goes like this. Dwelling in the self, I'm a seed. All the fingers are together like this. Dwelling in the self, I'm a seed. I invite you to practice it with me. Pull towards the world, I separate from thee. Expanding, I experience the various aspects of life. So I separate from that sense of union with the universal self, and I go into the world and I'm paying attention through my five senses, and so I'm kind of going there. Separate from thee, expanding, I experience the various aspects of life. Now I withdraw my mind, so separate the pinkies, like saying, okay, I detach myself for a moment from all these worries and fears and anxiety. I withdraw my mind from the flow of the world and dedicate my life to thee. Thee being the universal spirit, God, divine presence. Dedicate my life to thee so that you can flow through me. So the thumbs are together and the index fingers are there like in a triangle, and there is a little space for the flow so that you can flow to me. You can bring your hands more to the height of your heart if you like, so that you can flow through me, revealing the reality of birth and death. So the reality of birth and death is that we take a body when we are born and we leave this body when we die, but that we don't die with the body, that we are a spirit, spirit that has come through many generations, passing life from one to another human being, and then taking a body, and then the body stops, but the spirit doesn't stop. So, revealing the reality of birth and death and the bondage of Maya. Now, all the fingers are kind of interwoven, but also if you try to push away, they get more and more stuck, right? So, on the bondage of Maya, bondage of illusion, the illusion of being an isolated, separated self, struggling. I mean, we are struggling, no doubt about that, but there is much more to who we are than that. So, and the bondage of Maya, that illusion that we are a solo self. So how do we come out of it? I empty myself. So left hand on top empties itself into right hand, which is the spirit, the universal self within the individual self. I empty myself. I empty my worries, my sadness, my despair. Let go of layers and layers and layers of feelings and thoughts and emotions. I empty myself into the bigger dimension so that I can be filled by thee. And so the Spirit is giving us peace and healing and a bigger framework to hold all these things in our life so that I can be filled by thee. I relinquish the world, just so let go of everything, at least for a moment. I relinquish the world. Here, the thumbs are touching, the index fingers are touching, and the rest is just okay. I relinquish the world with all its trappings and tensions and everything. Okay, relinquish the world and take refuge in thee. So the hands are like this, and they come together. And we bow. Take refuge in thee. Take refuge in this bigger dimension of the spirit. You guide the way. So the right hand on top of the left hand and the thumbs. So we are swimming in the ocean of the world with this sensation that there is inner guidance. You guide the way. Even if sometimes we feel lost, we come back to cultivating this trust and opening ourselves to insights. You guide the way, and I follow your guidance. So the left side, the left hand that represents the individual self, opens itself to insight. You guide the way. Giving strength. So for giving strength, we have the left hand like an L, the right hand like I love you, and we have the index finger, the little finger of the right on the index finger of the left, the index of the left on the thumb. Sorry, let me try again. The little finger of the right on the index of the left, the index of the right on the thumb of the left, and then the other thumb there. So giving strength, we can push with the right hand on the left, giving strength, the universal self, giving strength to the individual self, and support. So now we are having the left hand with these four fingers like an envelope, and three of the fingers of the right hand come in, and the index of the right touches the thumb of the left, and the other thumb is there, like in prayer. So giving strength and support. And if you still can notice what's your right hand, give a little squeeze to your left hand. Strength and support. Here I am with you. The Spirit is always with us, around us and in us. We can see it in the plants, in the animals, in the sunlight, moonlight, other people, giving strength and support. It's always there. I shut out the noise of the world. So for a while, I just unplug from the news and all the other calls and pressures and whatever is there. I shut out the noise of the world so that I can hear thy voice, the voice of Spirit, the insights. You protect me. So the left hand goes under the right elbow, and we have this like a mace of Hanuman. Hanuman is a representation of removing of obstacles. Here's a Hanuman with a mace. So you protect me and dispel my fears. This is a fearless sign. Dispel my fears. Illusion falls away. Because when I mean, the illusion of separation, the illusion of a bleak future, and which is, it's there, but it's not the only picture. I mean, life continues and there are possibilities of changes, possibilities of working with whatever is wearing us. So to continue having that inner strength and clarity, we feel this protection and we let go of the fear. And then a lot of that burden, extra burden that we feel, that illusion of being a solo self in a desperate situation, falls away. Again, the problems are still there, but we make ourselves more available to find solutions within what's within our range of possibilities. Okay, so that's before the Gayatri Mantra. So now I want to share with you the Gayatri Mantra itself. Here we are. Can you see it? So here are the words in Sanskrit, and I'll pronounce them for you. We can pronounce them together, and then the meaning. So Om is this universal sound, the sound from which everything is supposed to have started. Om Bhurvubha Swaha. So Bur is the physical manifestation at the level of our body. We often locate it at the level of our navel, but of course it's our physical body and the physicality of everything around us. Bur. Buha is the force life itself, so the thoughts, the emotions, and Swaha is the spirit, the witnessing and presence. So those three dimensions of the physicality, the mental, emotional, and the spirit are illuminated by the light of the divine. So that Savitur is you, the light. Savitur could be the light of the sun, but it's more than that. It's just the divine presence. Varenyam means we adore. We turn our attention and intention to receive this, right? So, Om, you, this dimension of divine presence and light that illuminates all manifestations, the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. We adore you. We at this moment turn ourselves towards you. So Om Bhurvubha Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Vargo Devasya Dhimahi, to that splendid light. We meditate in it, we contemplate it, we contemplate it around us and inside us. Dio Yona Prachodayat, and that is made inspire us. Prachodayat is inspire and manifest in us. So made inspire us and fill us with those divine qualities of peace, of kindness, of love, of joy even in the midst of many problems that we see in nature. Sometimes, things are drying up or whatever, but there is a flower or there is a squirrel moving or whatever it is. So there is always, the problem is sometimes we just go to the negative and it seems to be only the negative there. So how can we somehow turn ourselves to that? So let's 5 times chant this. And I invite you as we recite Om Bhurbuha Swaha to bring your hands to your navel, on Bur, Buha, swap to your heart and to your third eye, on Bur, Buha, Swaha, and invite light, in your whole being, in your body, in your mind, and in your consciousness, your witnessing. Tatsavitur Varenyam, you can have your hands like prayer or any other form that it gives you a sense of coming inwards in peace. Bargo devasya di mahi, diyo yona prachodayat. Let's do it 3 more times. Om Bhurvuha Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Vargo devasya di mahi, diyo yona prachodayat. This is a mantra that has been sung for thousands of years, and it was given to us humans, knowing that there will be really hard times coming and how we can keep turning towards the light. 2 more times. Om Bhurvuha Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Vargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuha Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Vargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. And I know that chanting in Sanskrit could be a little bit of a foreign experience, but I just wanted to present this mantra and for you to know about it in case you would like to practice it. I would like to move to the next. So let's go for the mudras that go after the chanting. So we did the chanting. We just now know that there is this ancient mantra and that we could chant it in Sanskrit or we could um, have this transliteration, this understanding that there is this light, divine light within ourselves and all around us that illuminates the 3 dimensions of being, the physical manifestation, the life force, thoughts, emotions, mental, but not just mental, the more subtle component of ourselves besides the physical, then the life energy, and then the witnessing, the presence, the universal self that is within us and around us, and that there is this divine light that illuminates all of those dimensions and also within our body and within our daily life. And then we can prayer, we can give this gift to God or this gift to connection to that dimension of ourselves and pray at the same time. May we be illuminated with this, may we be inspired with this, and may we somehow be filled with these divine qualities. And I know it might sound a little bit esoteric, but it's a question of where do we turn our mind and our attention? Are we just going to be thinking about our stocks and about how much is the money up or down or this or that? That's where the attention goes. So instead of that, we can also direct it to our inner resources, our spirit, and that's just as real and much more real than the stocks. It doesn't seem so concrete, but it has a real important presence and force. And we know it in our daily life, and we also know it when we get sick, and we will know it at the moment of death. How are we able to connect with this spirit that is embodied in us and is taking us through all the ups and downs. So here are these other series of mudras that I want to teach you that come after the chanting of the Gayatri Mantra. And these are going like this. So the first one is bound within space and time. So ourselves feeling limited by our reality in space and time, in our days, in our daily life, in our concrete situations that kind of trap us. So the representation, the mudra to represent that is like this. We cross our hands. The right hand is a little bit, as we cross the hands, the right hand is a little bit up. So you have the thumb and the index finger of the right hand there, and then are the other fingers interlacing, right? While on the left you only have the thumb, but on the right you have the thumb and the index. And the middle fingers are crossing and the ring fingers are crossing, and they are crossing at the first knuckle. So now we are going to bring the pinkies up. So the pinky of the left hand is going to touch the ring finger of the right, and the pinky of the right is going to touch the ring finger of the left. Okay, pinkies up. And now we are going to bring the index fingers down. So the index finger of the left is going to touch the middle finger of the right, and the index of the right is going to touch the middle finger of the left. And the thumbs are touching, and everything is pointing up. So it gives us this kind of really interwoven, just kind of here we are, kind of on this difficult circumstances, how we feel. But from here, bound within space and time, we go to knowledge. So it is in the difficulties that we have when we find also ways of growing and understanding. And so by your grace, now again talking to spirit, to the divine within us, to that light, by your grace, knowledge dawns. And so this is a sign of knowledge, the index finger touching the thumb. So by your grace, knowledge dawns and is here right at the heart. On the other hand, is down, resting at the thigh. So we went from bound within space and time by your grace. So we keep turning our attention and asking for that grace. Knowledge dawns. And Jnana Mudra, which is this mudra or gesture of knowledge. So knowledge dawns and dispassion is attained. So from that knowledge at the heart, we are able to let go of the things that are burdening us and imprisoning us. Dispassion is attained. Here we have the two hands like this. Okay. So from the beginning, bound within space and time, by your grace, knowledge dawns and dispassion is attained. And now comes understanding the role of creation. So for having that mudra of feminine energy and the creation life passing through birth, we put the middle fingers together, the thumbs together, and the pinkies together, and we cross our ring fingers like an X there. Okay, and now we are going to take our index fingers and wrap around those ring fingers. And so we were like this, they were crossed like an X. And now we loosen a little bit the hands, and we are going to go with the index fingers and grab the tips of the ring fingers. Okay, and this is the mudra of feminine energy and of the creation, of the beginning of life through the sexual organ of a woman, of all women. So the role of creation is the understanding that we come to life not just to have an easy time, but that we come to life to learn and to have the experience, boga, and apavarga, to be liberated by the experience. And the only way we can be liberated by the experience is if we can rise a bit above the experience so that we are not in despair. So, and the role of creation. So from the beginning, bound within space and time, by your grace, knowledge dawns and dispassion is attained, understanding the role of creation, which is this knowing, trusting that we are in a journey of unfolding consciousness, understanding the role of creation, immerse in Om. So you have the left hand, and there is a thumb here, and the right hand is enveloping. They come together and they form like a little, like a conch, like this. Usually you blow the conch for the sound of Om. No, I don't know how to do it. But you can see the form, like one hand and then the other one inside. That's the Om. So immerse in Om is the left hand like this and the right hand creating, coming in with the four fingers, grabbing the thumb of the left and forming this conch. Immerse in Om. So we don't need to know all these mudras perfectly, but I thought that perhaps it could be something that we could share together today, explore the power of these mudras. And if you just remember the meaning, so like immersing on, coming back to, guiding myself again to remembering the universal self or God, if you use the term God, it's a beautiful term too, but for some people, they have problems with that term. So bringing ourselves beyond the limiting experiences of daily life when we get super down from everything that's going on, when we raise again through these gestures, to these prayers, through whatever works for you, to connect with immersing Om. Immersing Om, liberation unfolds. And this is the mudra of liberation. It's like a lotus flower. The lotus grows from the mud, from all that suffering, all that struggling. As we see also the other people struggling, and we empathize and see ourselves in them, and instead of finding separation, find our heart even more open, and our throat chakra and our third eye, everything opening. So liberation unfolds. This immersing Om, find the unity with everything, liberation unfolds with everyone, with every life. Coming back to the self with the senses control. Here we have the hands like this, but then the thumb is up. So it wasn't like the Maya where everything was down, but in this one, the thumb is up. And this is representative of the male energy. So in this series of mudras, we invoke the female energy and the male energy towards experience of kindness, of union. So coming back to the self with the senses control, I direct my mind and my heart to thee. So the left hand is going to be looking up, to be like this. And we are going to put our pinky of the right hand on the pinky of the left. And then we are going from underneath, wait a minute. Yeah, we need to, after we go like this, we move our hands a little bit so that then the ring finger can go on top of the other ring finger, and the third finger, middle one, can go on top of the middle one. And then you bring your elbows out and the hands in, and it forms this mudra. So I direct my mind and my heart to thee. This is the surrendering to God, to spirit, to a higher force, higher light. And then in complete surrender. So again, we go to this gesture of knowing, of knowledge, of insight. In complete surrender, we have the two hands like this. They are going to form two circles, come together, and then, like if they are putting from inside out, in complete surrender. And those are the 8 mudras that accompany the Gayatri Mantra after the recitation. Again, you can just stay with the first that we know, but I just wanted to present to you the whole unfolding of the Gayatri Mantra with the mudras that go before and after, and the chanting. And let's review it just one more time. Just that, while we practice in themselves, they are very healing. They are also used like the yoni mudra, the mudra of the creation, is also used as therapy for debilitating conditions like cancer. And so they all have healing power in themselves. So you can practice them on their own, and you can practice them within the whole presentation here. But even now, as we try, it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. They do help us. So it's like if you were doing release points, but much more powerful than that. So don't worry too much. Today I wanted to be doing the mudras with you because I find them very powerful, and the more difficult the situation becomes, the more we have to connect with prayers and ways of turning towards the light, which don't need to be complicated. Again, just be kind to somebody else. That's already turning to the light. Okay. So, but just in case you're interested in these mudras, let's go again. So the first one was the right hand is a little bit closer to you as you interlace your fingers. And then the middle finger and ring finger are crossed at the first knuckle, right? And now the pinkies are going up, and they are going to touch the ring fingers of the opposite hand. So that goes here and that goes here. And the pointers are going to go down, the index fingers are going to go down, so they touch the middle fingers of the other hand. And that creates this bound within space and time. And the thumbs are also touching. Everything's bound within space and time. By your grace, knowledge dawns. Know that always as we turn towards spirit, with devotion and with sincerity, some insight come. So by your grace, knowledge dawns. One hand is here, the other hand is at the thigh. Your grace knowledge dawns, and dispassion is attained. Understanding the role of creation. So at this moment, we are having the pinkies touching, the middle fingers touching, the thumbs touching, and now the ring fingers are going to cross, like forming an X, and the index are going to wrap around um, the ring finger, so the middle move a little bit, so that you're trying to catch the end there with your index fingers, and then you straighten your middle fingers. And that's Yoni Mudra. That's a representation of the force of life that moves through every birth. So understanding the role of creation. I also like to say usually the nature, understanding the nature of reality. The nature of reality is that it's always changing. And the role of creation. And the role of creation is that we come into form to learn. So whatever circumstances, everything is just part of this journey of learning. And the role of creation. From here we go to immerse in Om, so we separate all that and we form this form with the left hand, and the right hand is going to wrap around the thumb, and we just close it and it forms like this. That's a conch, right? Immerse in Om, immerse in this understanding that we are much more than all these worries that we have in our daily life, and that we can keep turning towards light so that we can find resilience and inner strength and be a light for each other. Immerse in Om, liberation unfolds. It's like the lotus, unfolds at the level of the heart, the throat, the eyes. The throat is what expresses in our words, in our communication, our values, our love. So liberation unfolds at the heart, at the throat, at the eyes, the third eye. Liberation unfolds. Coming back to the self with a sense of control, all like this, and then one up. I direct my mind and my heart to thee. So this is the left hand, and it's like this. This is the right hand, and it goes here. And then it rotates a little bit so that you can bring your ring finger under the other ring finger and your middle finger here. And once they are like that, you just kind of bring your elbows out and allow your hands to gently, don't force anything, just gently come in. And then they turn and you bring these two fingers here. So again, left hand, right hand. Right hand's going to put the pinky there, pinky of the right on the left. Now we rotate the hands a little bit, bring the elbows in, and it's not a question of force. In fact, it's a question of relaxing. So you rotate the hands a little bit, and then you can use the ring finger of your right on top of the ring finger of the left, and also you can bring your middle finger of the right on top of the middle finger of the left. So here the individual self and the universal self are totally intertwined, interwoven, connecting with each other. And then from here, we just bring the elbows out and up, and the hands naturally come towards the heart. And then you can easily turn it without leaving the other fingers. And so then you have again here this praying mudra. So direct my mind and my heart to thee. And then we form this knowledge, mudra, knowing. I make these two circles. And then again, bring the hands towards our heart and out. I direct my mind and my heart to thee in complete surrender. And it is in that surrendering that we find peace and that we find light. If we are trying to figure everything out on our own, just cognitively, it's impossible. But this is a source of miracles. It helps your whole body and mind to relax. And again, just I hope that some of you enjoyed it and at least for a moment felt the movement of it, the peace of it. And this is probably the most esoteric of the times that I have been with you. And I do these practices every day, but I don't say that you need to do them every day. I just thought that I would share it with you because it feels very beautiful. Just it feels I don't know where we are going with, with the world, but let me see if I can find some measure of peace. And we'll find it through all our practices.